Ladies and gentlemen, so awesome time for a video. Right now, the markets are, what some are going to say, crashing. They're really selling off, and a lot of what's driving this right now is actually South Korea. South Korea actually is selling off so much that they actually halted their market to the downside. I want to go ahead and just pull up from the absolute peak to the low right now, 4%. Now, anything under 9% is just a pullback. 10 to 19 is a correction, and then obviously 20 and further is a crash. That is the actual term for this. And a lot of people right now are asking, hey, are we crashing? And how come I'm not talking about it? And so far, again, I got a pretty great track record as far as calling out crashes. I think this would be rather surprising, but I'm going to give you some key levels to just kind of watch out for. And by levels, I mean there's just one. There's one level right now that by tomorrow we do need to hold over. We do need to see, we need to make sure everything is holding well, or we are probably going to end up having the correction talk. It could just be a deep pullback. We have plenty of room. Let's just real quick. This is the NASDAQ right here, and I'm going to get to why the NASDAQ is more important, because we'd finally hit correction territory, right, all the way down. Okay, so this blue zone down here is a correction. That would be absolutely wild. It sounds a lot easier to say in real life than it does when you actually look at a chart. That would need a much further catalyst. Right now, I gotta say, I am cautiously buying the dip. And I'm already long ES, and I did just buy a NASDAQ futures contract. So I'm long ES and NQ. So bought the dip. Now, another question I get is, hey, is America insulated, from the Korean situation? Here's the S&P. I guess I'll just recap before we get ahead of ourselves. Told you guys, don't worry about the gap fill. Not that that's nonsense. It's just, it's going to end up being a nonsense trade. People talked about, the future's just going to gap fill. I said, if we do that, we're headed down here. Now, we got the bounce. This is an hourly chart. So we actually got the bounce out of this type 1 zone, jumped up, hit that blue zone, back further. Right now, just bleeding out after the open, just nothing but red. This is the overnight market, so about 4 people are trading. Tomorrow morning when volume comes in, it'll be a little bit more important. I certainly probably just wouldn't be going short right now. The short play was already there. In fact, I actually was short the NASDAQ. It trailed it tagged out, and now I'm long. But to answer the insulation question, no, as far as South Korea goes, they're really involved in the semiconductor situation. So stocks like Nvidia, AMD, AVGO, Qualcomm, MU, SMCI, those are going to be the ones to really watch out for tomorrow, along with the NASDAQ. Stuff like energy, probably not going to be affected. The only other way I think we could be affected by this, outside of the tech that I just named off, is over there. Let's say you have a lot of people over here have exposure to China. They start selling it. They start selling the China stuff because they want to start buying their own dip, over here. So the Koreans could start selling our stuff to prop that. Again, that's just going to be more further just sell side activity. Let's just take a look. I don't know. Video already had a red day. Real quick, I'm going to pull this up. Let's see. I just want to see what the Robinhood. I'm not going to edit this out. Sorry, guys. I'm sure all the other cool YouTubers really do. Just saw the market selling off, and I figured with all the questions, let's just record it so I don't have to repeat myself. AMD's at 239 and Nvidia 193. So it's down a couple bucks, actually just shy of the expected move for the week. I think entering short right now is probably not going to be not worth your while. What is it, 239 on this one? Oh, AMD's actually up. Right? I know I just said the answer, but did I say 239? AMD 239.29. So AMD's actually up $1. Uh, the troubling part for this is South Korea is a risk on, I'm gonna say a barometer, a borderline indicator, especially for tech and the supply chains of that. So right now, long story short, I don't need to take up much more of your time. 5 minutes is plenty long enough for this. The key level I'm watching out for is actually this zone right here. We hold this. I think we probably just saw the worst and dip by. Overall, not bad. We've seen these before. They've panned out great. Now on the S&P, it actually is this current zone right here that we are below. So tomorrow morning, we want to see it up there. If below this is the overnight hours, then, so be it. I'd take that with a grain of salt. If you wanted to give it any more wiggle room in the world, see how we kind of drop down here and bounce. And we're just going to talk about price action right now. Kind of breaking those levels. I mean, if we get to this zone, how many times you gonna say like, okay, for real, this is the last time. This is the last time I'm gonna just hold on to this particular ticker. Let's pull up. Let's just get really. Let's see where we're at now and what a correction would look like. Again, just right now we're down 2%. Everyone's freaking out a lot. Oh my gosh. All right, so here is correction territory. This zone down here. I don't think we're gonna get into correction. That would be absolutely wild. Now I know a lot of people are talking about banks and a black swan event, and you could probably just ignore all those people. The second they mentioned black swan, I instantly just wrote it off. They call it a black swan event, and you will not see it coming. The fact that everyone is talking about it tells you it's just probably not going to happen. And most of the time, and in fact, probably not every time, when someone starts talking about a black swan event, that's probably just a bearish catalyst. And more often than not, I'd probably start looking for the dip buy in the midst of all the fear mongering. Looking at financials, they, hardly selling off. I don't know if I'd go crazy over that. All right, so watch out for the chips and ultimately tech tomorrow. There was a lot of thing about valuation fatigue, and so I saw a Bloomberg report. I was trying to find it while I was talking, just in my history, but I don't know where it's at. But it was talking about. Give me one more second. Let me see if I can't find it. I want to say it was Bloomberg. Let's see, Bloomberg. Okay, according to Bloomberg, the drop was triggered by valuation concerns of major Korean tech exporters, memory chip companies, and other recently high-flying sectors. It also notes that stocks such as Samsung led the decline in the dragging market down. Oh, Samsung's a big one. They basically make everything. What was the other article I had? What was it? Oh, Market Minute highlights that the Korean market drops reflected a wave of profit taking after recent rallies. The thing is, you don't usually have a limit down on profit taking. That's usually some kind of fear, panic, and a lot of things triggering at the same time. We see profit taking every day. It's what a lot of these red candles are after some high flyers. You don't kind of just all go on. You wouldn't call a run on banks just, hey, we're all just getting cash. No one's actually worried. Everyone just wants their cash out of the bank right now. There's a huge line. I don't know if I agree with the wording on there. Valuation fatigue, here's what it was. With Korean tech and export names having rallied strongly, the market seems to be taking a breather. Taking a breather and a lock limit down, this is something you see on penny stocks. This is something we saw during the Rona. Okay, I call it that because they were real upset when you said COVID back then. So it's the Rona. And the market did limit down. And it was wild. We don't just profit take and limit down it, because that means we got to halt the market, because it's basically the parents coming in, all the kids are screaming and yelling, saying, what is going on? And then someone out there has to kind of just say, what's happening? And it's either A, commence, or like, we need to stop. There's some fear mongering out there right now. From the articles I pulled up, it seemed very extreme to the fact that we probably are going to get real crazy, or this is the dip buy, which ultimately is a long-winded way to say watch this zone tomorrow. I thought we were going to bounce. Yeah, it was actually this zone to this zone as far as the Nasdaq, and then as far as the S&P goes. If we gave up this one, I said we're headed here. I wouldn't even worry about this, which sucks because that's where I bought one of the dips. Is up there. So I bought this dip and this one. Tomorrow it's gonna suck if it keeps dipping, but it's ES, not exactly a 0 day, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Wanted to make a quick video so I don't have to keep repeating myself. While it might seem panic overnight, let's just see what tomorrow's market brings. So let's make sure, because pre-market we'll get the volume coming in. Market opens, we'll see what's really going on. And ultimately, if we let's say we are below, we fly right back up. That's a sign that the dip buyers are here. Probably a little bit less on the panic side. I guess while I'm covering it, in case you guys aren't in my groups, I'll obviously be in the chat tomorrow. Is it going to be a short entry? Because let's say we're down here. Let's say we bleed off all night, and then tomorrow morning we kind of rush back up. And if you go to the hourly, it's going to look something like we're down here and then checking that zone from a bottom. And it's going to look like a great short entry. It's going to look something similar to this right here. Jump up. Oh crap, here we go. I would probably be lesser on that side than I would the dip buy crowd. You'll see a lot by its volatility does it just get snapped right back up. If we turn this thing around on a crawl and crawl our way back up, I'd probably say I would be thinking about a hedge. I really would at that point. At that point, it'd be a short entry. You know, I'm long ES. I'll probably end up going short some MES contracts, just to hedge. But if we snap back up and you see it bounce, that was some fear-mongering, manipulated to the downside. Somebody wanted some cheap shares. We've seen it 1,000 times. And we'll see it 1,000 more, probably just this year. But anyway, I will wrap it up. 12 minutes, a little longer than 5. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.